Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Harvey Began Center's Family First, Arts from a Distance. For this art workshop, we'll step into our future with colorful collage work led by teaching artist Carla Erin Lopez. Let's get creative. We hope you enjoy.
Sweet. Hi, new friends. I'm Carla Erin Lopez. I'm a local artist and educator here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And today, magically, I have found another space to traverse for the next hour to teach a whole new group of people. And I'm coming to you live from the Gantz Center's classroom because I'm always in a classroom somewhere. I'm a teacher. In the meantime, would love for you to come and stop by and visit the Gant. They are open, but please remember to social distance and handy dandy enough, wear your mask. All right, so today I've created a workshop for you called Envisioning Your Dreams, and we're going to do that via collage. A lot of people get into the habit of making a vision board, and a vision board is essentially you going through images and collecting the things that you dream about. So let's say you're a teenage girl and you want to become a clothing designer, then you would collect and collage images that you project as what you're going to be when you grow up. But I think it should come a little deeper than that. What I really think is that you can make artwork out of your dreams as well. All of the silly things that you think about. The whole point of collage is that we're trying to make things that do not normally go together for an image. So behind me, I have a lovely young lady whose work is on display here at the Gant. Her name was what? Melina? Monique Luck. I only forgot for a couple of seconds, right? Her name is Monique Luck, and what she has done is she's taken the practice of collage and turned it into an entire mixed media piece because we have these very cool and soft blues and yellows behind us. But the more we look at Miss Luck's work, the more we're rewarded for looking because the act of collage itself makes us want to figure out what are these images that she's used as texture in order to create an entire composition, AKA a work of art. A composition is a work of art. So beneath me, right? I wanted to go ahead, and as I'm talking, if you're following along with me, I already have little pieces of paper down here that maybe I'm going to use, maybe I'm not going to use all of them specifically, but I'm kind of organizing them and I'm mentally working through my process while speaking and teaching with you along the way. So first things first, I am a true born teacher. There are three names I want to go ahead and put on the table right away. I would consider them to be the past of collage. People such as Hannah Hock, very wonderful woman from Europe. She's one of our earliest collage artists, where she put women in these very, very interesting, powerful images. There's also Richard Hamilton, the Prince of Pop Art. There's Robert Rauschenberg, and then also our hometown hero, Romare Bearden, who's known for collage and one of the largest reasons why I got into collaging myself. Now, there's also a future to collage. There's a very wonderful young man out of South Carolina. His name, you guys, you're going to have to clutch your pearls for a second. But trust me when I say his collage work is phenomenal. His name is fart.pdf. I know, very interesting name and very interesting young brother. But his images and how he's choosing to manipulate and add more materials to his actual collage work, I find to be fascinating. And you can see some of his images on his website. But for today, you and I are going to figure out, based on what we have in front of us, what can we create? And there are tools that go along with collaging. I have some of them out here. So let's take a look in the camera real quick, guys. So I have a couple of different X-Acto knives that I use. When I'm in a quick hurry trying to cut something, the traditional silver handle is very useful, very helpful. But let's say you have a bit of hand problems, you are going to definitely need something that ergonomically fits your hand, because when you get into these very, very intense little spaces and cracks and crevices of the actual works, you want to be able to continue working, continue cutting, but also protect your hands. Your hands are the most important thing. So I have my handy dandy glue stick here. I think I run through these every 3 months. I think I should just go ahead and just put stock into Elmer's glue, because I run through glue sticks quite often. And then there are other add-ons. I keep an old school whiteout pen with me, because sometimes I want certain colors to pop and a little bit of white will set off another color. I also keep markers nearby, because once I'm finished with the piece, I may want to physically write on the piece itself. And I just keep all of those things inside of my toolbox. And then also too, we as humans, we break X-Acto blades. Always have an extra pair of X-Acto blades somewhere in your handy dandy toolbox. So those are our main 3 things. If you do not have just plain old regular glue stick, all you have is wet glue, liquid glue in a bottle, that's fine. You want to work with it a little bit at a time on your hands and just really lay it down with your fingertips, because wet glue will wrinkle our paper and we want our paper to stay as crisp as possible. But sometimes the wrinkle can be cool depending on your execution. I'm not crazy about it. I would rather you stick with an actual glue stick. All right, guys. Now, let's dig into it. Because the biggest thing is, the more you command that X-Acto knife, and I got to use the big baby because old hands. Ooh, look at my fingers. We're going to use this one. And what I want you to recognize is that everywhere inside of an image, there is a line that needs to be followed. I do have a pair of scissors with me, and scissors are cool. They can get you started, but they will not be able to get inside of these very small places. I want the white to come out of this little boy's arm. So in order for me to do that, the first place I'm going to cut, keep track of your caps. You do not want to walk around anywhere with no cap on your X-Acto knife, because if you do that, there's a great chance that you'll be cut, and this is a very sharp object. Therefore, please, please, please be careful. So keep your caps nearby. What I teach my students with their first times using an X-Acto knife is a very simple rhyme. Behind the line, you'll be fine. If you keep your fingers behind the cut line, you will be fine. And what that looks like is if I'm going to cut this side, this inside jacket part of this little boy, then I'm going to keep my finger behind where I'm cutting, because I do not want to slice myself. So I'm going to go ahead and get started there. And sometimes along the way, we'll make little mistakes, and that's fine, because if all of this is new to you, you're going to make a mistake. Mistakes are cool. Do you guys see where my finger is? I'm holding my paper down and I'm pulling the knife gently toward myself, because that's the direction I'm moving in, but I'm making sure my other hand stays out of the way as I'm cutting. A lot of students believe that once the paper hits the table, they cannot move the paper. Always move the paper around to your advantage. The better you can see, the better you can cut out these very small pieces. So I'm gonna come back through here, go up the wrist of his sweater and through his jacket. And if you can see there are these very heely bumps within his jacket. I want to make sure that those get cut out super awesome because I might want to put something behind him later on. Collaging is kind of cool because it provides us with a free thought to make whatever we want to make, to make a scene look totally trippy or make our own version of a Bob Ross painting with trees from, I don't know, different magazines. That is if you're into Bob Ross paintings. I'm into Bob Ross more than I'm into Bob Ross paintings. Just a very soothing brother with the kind of a summer we've had so far. All right, boom. So we have one cut gone, ready to go. I highly suggest that the more you get into collaging, the more you start cleaning as you go. My grandmother was a home ec teacher, and she taught me in my childhood that you need to clean as you go. And I keep a lot of those lessons close to my heart when I'm working because artists always lose stuff. So I always create a trash pile somewhere. That's my trash pile, y'all. Trash pile. Because when I'm ready to clean up, I don't want to clean up a big mess. I just want to be able to pack up, throw my things away. Now I'm going to get into this little intricate area inside here with my X-Acto knife. Now remember, behind the line, you'll be fine. If you keep your fingers behind the cut line, you'll be fine. So if I'm cutting this way, I'm going to have to rotate my paper to a much more comfortable position, and then I can cut what I would like to have out of the original image. So I'm going to come through there, and you see how I use my less dominant hand to hold the paper down. I'm applying just a slight bit of pressure to the blade itself so I can make my way through the cut, but I'm not applying so much pressure that I'm hitting the table. We don't want to do that. Plus, I told you before, this is a very sharp blade. Let me finish out what I started. And then the good part about an X-Acto blade is when you have these very small pieces in here, you can just dig in there. You can have it assist you, and then you can get rid of the piece, and the piece goes back into my trash pile here. So I'm gonna set my X-Acto down for a while. If I'm not gonna come back to it right away, remember the lesson I taught you about the caps. Let's say, for example, I'm not coming back to it right away. I'm gonna go ahead and cap my X-Acto knife, because what if I choose to walk away from here and go do something else in my house or my studio, and then I get more things on my table? I could cut myself with my blade. No need to do that at all. I want to talk to you about scissors. Scissors are always great. Scissors, we can manipulate through the paper, and scissors can give us a good head start on what we would like to cut. So what I'm going to do is, I know the young man has on a sweater, jacket, and he has on white jeans. These white jeans in this image, I don't know about you guys, but it's kind of difficult for me to see. So I would not use my X-Acto knife to cut. I'm going to use it to clean up, but I'm going to get started with my scissors. And scissors are funny. A lot of people want to take it and go, chomp, 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 chomp. It's a little gator chomp, 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 chomp. No, please don't do that, okay? We can work just as intricate with a pair of scissors as you would with an X-Acto knife. We just will not get those fine, fine details. So that's what we'll lean on the X-Acto knife for. So I'm gonna cut this little guy out. I'm taking a wild guess about where his pants fall on this image. And as you can tell, I generally leave the scissors open and move at a snail's pace to cut a picture, because I want to emulate the X-Acto knife. And my other reason for sharing this is that sometimes you don't always have an X-Acto knife. So what are you gonna do? But you want to do the same things. I have to switch my paper around. Remember, paper can move. I think that's the biggest thing a lot of people don't realize. They don't have to be devoted to the paper in one direction. But I want to keep cutting my little friend here, who's going to transform into someone else. So I can show you guys that when you're working together with scissors, you're essentially cutting and moving your paper all at the same time. And you're keeping your eye on this invisible outside line that you're following in order to cut your picture. And we're gonna go around the corner here. And then I'm gonna stop using the scissors just about his elbow so I can talk to you about cleaning up what you've cut. All right, cool. So we have our little buddy. He's been cut out in this little area here. Now, trash pile, boom, that's where that goes. Now I'm back to my X-Acto. And I'm here with the X-Acto knife again, because sometimes we need to clean up whatever it is that we just cut. Sometimes we want to go back in and add the details that may have been lost. So here we know he has on a little puffer jacket, and I'm going to recreate a detail using the X-Acto knife. So we know the puffer jacket had little humps and lumps to it. Well, what if we just put them back in there real quick? Make them like happy little trees on some Bob Ross. He's my muse for today, you guys, because he's so chill. Remember, move when you need to move. Now, this is something that is very, 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 very different, okay? This part right here, what you see me doing is that I'm allowing the blade to rest on my nail, same amount of pressure as before, but I'm allowing the nail to control the blade, because one false cut and I may chop an area or myself that I will not like later on, but I know that I want to rework little details. This is like advanced levels right here. But how can you go into advanced levels if you don't ever see it yourself? You got to see it to believe it, and then you can work on it and practice it, you know? So cool. It's down there, it's really small, it's really little, but I reworked that wonderful valley that he had in his arm back into him. So now, let's finish cutting him out, like so. And I'm looking for little invisible guidelines. You're watching me move the paper as I'm cutting, because some paper is glossy, some paper is not. Some areas will not be able to see too well. So we have to follow these little imaginary lines in order to get the best cut possible. And sometimes you have sweaty hands while doing it. And you stick to the paper. Cool. You guys see that? That's a nice cut right there. If you can dig in deep. So you see we're about to go super small. I keep my finger behind the cut line. Behind the line, you'll be fine. I'm applying slight pressure. And I'm traveling up his hat. All right, guys, we're almost in the gold here. Because you know what I'm thinking? I'm going to turn him into a little superhero that'll fit into my already created collage pantheon. Because we have a lot of materials out here in front of us. I often go back and double check where my cut is and how I'm looking. And when you're using an X-Acto knife, as you can see, I cut into the blue that was on his hat because I want a clean line over here versus being so worried if I'm getting the actual image itself. Like, I'd rather have a nice clean line that'll flow into my composition while I'm working, like so, than to, become emotionally unstable because I cut the little boy's hat. Now, let's see. He's got a little face. Bring him down. All right, we have some sticky territory, guys. What are we gonna do? We're gonna switch it around, and then we'll just find a new line. I'm using my nail to hold the paper down because this is very thin paper, and we could rip it. So I'm gonna create new lines out of the image, move my paper around, keep my finger behind the cut line, and then I'm gonna go ahead and finish out the rest of the right side of his body, or at least what I'm thinking is the right side. Because I like this coat, it's cute. I have a son, so I'm gonna make mine about how I see my son, because I think he's my favorite superhero. All right. We coming around the corner, you guys. Oh my God. Last edge, family. And then, ooh, we got these pants down here, y'all. We're gonna make up some pants today. So I see a little bit of a line through there, and I'll just come down here, and I'll get out that piece of background from his stance. All right, cool. Let's get rid of that trash pile. Haha, there we go. You guys see that? That's a nice cut right there. But it goes in my trash pile. Sometimes I'll keep anything that's left behind. But since it's just plain old white paper, I'm not gonna keep it. So boom, we have our friend. And then also what you see is I have little random bits and pieces of paper out here. When you start collaging, you start collecting pieces of paper. Sometimes I've drawn on mine. That's where these orange marks come from, or if you can see the blue marks that have turned green because of the yellow that's in the image as well. Sometimes I'll mark on paper and create new textures, and you can use anything to do that. But I always lay everything out just so I can see clearly what am I working with here and where do I want this to go. Collage can take on many different forms and many, many, many different layers. And I know the first thing I want to do is remove the fact that he's looking at me. So now we've gone from an image that was actually in a closed catalog to a figure. Now we build upon the figure, and the figure is going to need a ground in order to become whatever that thing is in our brains, in our minds. So check this out. I like recreating characters, making them unknown. So he's going to become somebody else, somebody the world has never seen before, kind of like my kid. I got into collage because when I found out I was pregnant, I didn't know if I wanted to tell him the Disney stories that we love so much. And instead, I made images and created new stories. He's looking kind of creepy. Creepy is my flow. Caps. See what I'm saying? That's why you got to remember, put your caps on your stuff, guys. Cool. All of my tools are together in one area. Awesome. So now here's the fun part. We have to play around. So if rule number one I teach my students is behind the line, you'll be fine in terms of maneuvering and operating an X-Acto knife, then the second rule is don't glue anything until you have that final image. So we're going to essentially play around and move these pieces around like puzzle images until we get something. So should I put something here behind his head? No, I don't think so. Should something like this go behind him? Maybe. I'm kind of liking how that looks on camera. That looks pretty baller for a little boy out of a clothes catalog. All right, we're going to keep that. We're going to move this to the side. I often reuse a lot of my child's old artwork into my artwork because it keeps us connected together. He likes it. Like, does this guy go? Do I use him? No way at all. He's too heavy. But definitely, I'm going to begin building the ground of this figure using this piece. Nice. So he stays over there for now. That's where he goes. Because I'm thinking we need to add something else to him. He can't just exist in this space alone like so. So what else do we add to him as we go along? I don't know. Let's figure it out, guys. Does he need to have something popping out of his back? Do we want something to come crawling through these parts? I have no idea. But one thing I like, which is why I teach the lesson of do not glue before you have a final piece, is because collage is a lot like puzzles, and you're trying to figure out what is going to fit together. I may get started on a collage and I may glue together 3 pieces and stop because there's something out there I haven't found for it yet. So I save it, move it to the side. I'm liking where this is going. I think I am going to use these pieces while I'm messing around with this little kid. It reminds me a lot of my boy. And I also like the color contrast. See if we can move this part around like so. Let's see here. Yeah, because I'm feeling the texture on textures. You guys see, it's kind of like if we were to make up a story right now, it's a little kid and he's in the woods and he looks kind of creepy, but he might be kind of cool. We don't know yet, that kind of thing. No. Let's see, what else we got? We got this really nifty thing over here. Ooh, guys, I'm feeling it. Oh my gosh, you guys. And in the spirit of children, water break. Let me get a sip of my coffee. My lips feel dry. All right, cool. We're good there. Let's see. We have these very awesome crayons I found. I kind of like them. And they have such cool names. All right. We're going to take this whole picture, you guys, and that's going to become our background. That way we can still keep it just a little childish. And if you wanted to cut using an X-Acto knife, you could have done that. But when I'm just in practice thinking about things, Scissors are just fine. They will be just fine. Awesome. Okay. Cool, so we got that. Don't forget trash pile. Trash pile over there. Let's see. So let me take my friend here. I'm still gonna use this. This is just so texturally beautiful. But I'm gonna rearrange my guy here. This can move. This can go here. Yep. Yeah. I don't like that little bit down there. I gotta clean that off. All right. Sweet. Now we're rocking. So I want him to fall somewhere in there. Then what do I want to do with this? Just move him. Oh, you don't want to be moved? There we go. Let's see. We'll take this guy. Yeah, I do like it that way. We'll put him back in there like that. Awesome. Flat down. Awesome. I'm thinking I like the direction that this line is going in. So we're going to keep moving in that direction with our colors here. So maybe this guy is here. All right. I like this. I like this one too. This is what I was looking for, you guys. The one I already cut up. Haha. Because I'm thinking he should have like a little colorful halo. That's what he should have. So he's got a super colorful halo to go with his crayons, because he's going to be like the king of creativity, because that's how my kid is. He likes doing and making things with mommy. This is not trash. It does not go into the trash pile, because we still have textures here, here, and here that can be integrated into another piece we may be working on. That's where these little pieces came from. They came from an old collage, but I still like the way they looked. It didn't fit that collage anymore. Same with this. So remember, you got a trash pile. You know this stuff is going in the trash, but you're going to hold on to things like this and that, because they can continue to be worked back into another piece that you're working on. So since my guy here is going into my already established pantheon of Black characters and mythologies, boom. All right. There, we have something. Let me scoot this little dude over here so you guys can see on your end, right? Boop, boop, boop. All right, we got something going in there. See his little face? Let's see. I like him, but I do think something's missing. We have to figure out what that thing is and balance the central image. So I'm going to move these helpful pieces out of the way. Move this guy up here too. And I'm going to move this guy center, so I have time to think and focus on what else could we possibly add. You're still making a work of art. You're still building a composition. And sometimes there are things that could essentially be missing altogether, okay? So I want to stop and take a look at him. And it's okay to take an eye break from your work, okay? Because when you take a little eye break from your work and you come back to the work itself, then you have a fresh outlook. You can either build more to the image. Maybe there's something that needs to be in here. Maybe there's something that needs to be in here, and maybe you need to stop. Maybe I need to add more. Maybe I need to take away. All right. So you guys listen up real tight, real close. You have about 8 minutes until the showcase, everybody. Then, check your chat for instructions. So I'm gonna keep messing with this little guy. So I think I'm gonna pause on him and I'm gonna move him over here because I don't know what I want to put over there yet, but I have enough time to take a look at what I do have and get started on something else. Sometimes when you take a break and you go make another little piece and come back to your original piece, you'll have a better idea of what you want. I'm feeling this. I'm really feeling this, y'all. Hold on, trash pile. We're gonna move my buddy over so you guys can see this gnarly yellow that I'm looking for. So those are all those pieces. All those pieces go together. But I'm feeling this right here. Ooh, I like that a little bit more, guys. Ooh, you guys. Handy dandy glue stick. The stronger the bond, definitely better. All right, so this is a piece of cardboard that I just put charcoal marks on the back. I moved this random piece of paper up and down before I finally decided where I wanted it to fall. And we'll say that this little image is going to be a portal. And then there's this little dude that exists in the portal. I'm gonna actually gold out his face because I don't want any resemblance to actual humans. I like it when they look a little mysterious, which is why I gold out folks' faces. You kind of think of it as a mask. We're shielding them. Like, y'all see that? It's like we're shielding him, hiding his identity, and only displaying his greatness through the power of the color gold. All right, y'all. I think we've laid down enough of that. So since this is an oil-based marker, he has to dry. So we're gonna wait a second for him. We're also gonna work out the issues that we're having with this particular piece of paper not fully bonding to the board. And I wanted to make sure that I brought that up because sometimes your work may not receive glue to the very far edges. So what do? If the glue has bonded, there are several things. This is when the liquid glue comes in handy, but you would have to be very careful. I don't have any liquid glue on me today because I think I've gone through these kinds of obstacles and issues so many times that I just kind of dig in there. I pay very close attention to what I have underneath my image, but I dig in there one good time, put a little extra where it ain't, and then I slowly work my way back across. Just so I know that the paper is bonding to the surface because I don't want it to move. Just lift that baby up again. Get on in there. Get in there real good. Thanks. Awesome. Paper has a life to it. It bends, it moves, it crumbles. It even cuts us when we don't treat it right. So the more you understand how to manipulate a single piece of paper, the more that act of collaging goes beyond whatever form it's been introduced to you. I suggest you go beyond whatever you've seen. Perfect. She is on there, ready to go. Like so. Let's see. My man's is kind of, sort of, almost dry. I think I want to put him, we'll put him dead smack in the center like so. Make him like a messenger to the portal. That other glue stick is dead. All right, you guys, we got about 2 more minutes till showcase time. Let's see what you guys have made. Put my little glue stick to the side. All right. All right. Boom, like so. I have a thing with arrows and handwriting and collaging. That's my favorite kind of artwork. And I also have shaky hands all the time, but I still make the work anyway, because work is never going to be perfect. Rearrange, then go in a different direction. Because words don't have to go from left to right always. They can be upside down, diagonal. It's your artwork. All right, it's the month of November. I'm gonna sign down here. So we got 1 portal. All right, and I believe our 2 minutes are up. All right, guys. So if you were making along with me, check the chat. Cool. All right. Oh, someone said thank you. That's so cool. All right. How do we do this showcase part? Let's see mine. You might have to write that down for me. Oh, okay. Cool. Well, you guys, I like this little guy right here and put him to the side. And then I'm going to go ahead and devote to my man's up here. And just by making one simple change, because I figured out what it was. This one change for them all. And in small child fashion, water break. Get a coffee break before we go bananas gluing. I'm going to, oh, that was my change. Okay. So let me show you guys what I'm doing. I'm going to focus on the center of his body to be glued down. I'm also going to go ahead and adhere his colorful halo. And then I'm going to come back into his body with his crayons. Honestly, guys, if you could read what these crayons say, you would laugh so hard, which truly changes the nature of this image. Okay. So remember, I only focused on the center of his body. He still has little arms over here, and we had stuff in his arms. So that's why we didn't glue his entire body down. So once I get my pieces in position, then I think we got too much him up in there. Yeah, there we go. Then we can finish gluing down the rest of our handy dandy collage of a powerful little boy whose creativity beats all. Cool. Okay. So this is the part where we got to get a little ginger in here, you guys. So some things may be glued and some things may not. Hello. What did you guys have? Oh, wait, you have a little princess package. Oh, okay. I am down. I see you, girl. I see you. Well, since you have a little princess, I'm making a collage for my baby. He's a boy and he makes art with me. So I'm making an art superhero. It's kind of like my child. There we go, guys. And then this one can come up here and stay. So this is Miss Michelle and her little person. They're in the building with us today. Let's see. Have little people staring. Nah, I think we're good right there. All right, Miss Nettles. Okay. Well, I think, because I just pulled up two. Let's see. Where'd that gold marker go, guys? You guys, you have my marker. Let's come back in here and switch up his little eyeballs. So So his eyes can be gold, just like my little man's over here on the smaller one. Cool. All right, guys. So here's a few things that we did today. We know what vision boarding is, and vision boarding is an activity meant for you to focus on your dreams that utilizes the process and the act of collaging. But what if your dreams are a little different? How can you use collage to illustrate your dreams? And I've taken you through a set of techniques that are very, very helpful with refining how to cut out images using tools like the X-Acto knives and a pair of scissors. A pair of scissors will always be super duper helpful. So please start using the two of them together in conjunction. They both should be together, but sometimes we get a little lost. You can also add other tools, markers, paint pens, my handy dandy little whiteout pen here from long ago. Saving up bits and pieces of little colorful papers like so is another fantastic way to start really using paper and all of those things to pull together different types and styles of imagery. This one is for my son. He's a wonderful artist. He loves to draw. He loves to color. He's also obsessed with dinosaurs. So I wanted to have that aggressive energy that a dinosaur comes with. And always, if you get into this, make sure you keep glue sticks at all times because you may roll up on one that has no glue in it because you tore it up. Oh yeah, babe, we are good to go. That is the end for me today, you guys. I really hope you had a wonderful time with me, and I hope to come back again soon so we all can make more collages together, but safely and via social distance. Here's my trusty mask. I'm almost ready to walk back out into the world again. And then please, if you want to see more of my work, you can find me across all social media platforms as I Am King Carla. @ I Am King, CARLA, Carla. I'm gonna see you guys later. Have a beautiful Saturday. It feels good outside, and please practice social distancing. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us for Family First, Arts from a Distance. We hope that you have enjoyed this workshop and created something special. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe to the Harvey B. Gann Center's official YouTube page for updates on future workshops and other programs. To continue the free programs that highlight some of the best in Black arts and culture, please consider supporting the Gann Center via our Text to Give platform. By texting Unmasked to 345-345, you help further our mission. All contributions matter and truly make a difference. Visit our website, ganncenter.org, to see all of our upcoming programs.